All right. Good afternoon, good morning. Uh, Depending on, I guess, where you're at in the world. I'm gonna try and do this video here on an overview of Router. Try to go live and do it that way, but not very secure. Show my IP address, all kinds of other stuff. Um, but with that being said, I have a GLI net GLB 1300. And if I pronounce that wrong for whatever reason, please let me know in the comments. Um, and what I did is I flashed it with a fresh copy of Router. So oftentimes, as we talk on these Facebook groups and stuff, new people will tell them, hey, go use Router, but they may or may not know exactly where to pull it. And uh, what can I say? Also, um, how to configure it and how to set it up. So we'll just kind of do a little quick overview on Router and essentially where you can go and get that with regards to the website. I'll post a link in the description as well, and kind of how to find your firmware version for your router. So before I go in and log in to Router itself, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the of modems and min uh, website. Oh, and that's right. I do not have internet connected at the moment, so we'll have to go back and do that after we set up Router. I'll show you where to go and pull your firmware. If you don't already know. All right, so initially when you flash your router with Router, um, it won't have a preset password. So you'll have to go in and set the password, and that's kind of identified by this banner right here on the web interface saying, hey, go to password configuration to set a password because we don't have one right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click on login. First comes up is your status page, right? You have the host name, which is going to be router, your model, processor version, uh, firmware version. It may or may not show which version of OpenWRT router is based off of, because all router is a custom version of OpenWRT. Kind of scroll down and just let you guys see an overview. This is your network. If you had internet connected via the WAN port or an LTE modem, it would show, hey, here's our traffic IP address, gateway, DNS2, depending on the what do you call it? The uh, service provider that you're connected to. Sorry about that. I brain farted for a minute. Active DHCP leases. So any devices that are connected directly to the router. Right now I'm connected via the Wi-Fi. Wireless SSID and radios. So if you have multiple radios, like most routers do, that separate the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 uh, or 5 gigahertz wireless radios, so the AC and the N. Um, and also it'll show, associated stations. I'm connected to here. This is my signal strength and what my connection rate is to that router. Um, and then your multi-WAN interface if you're using configure it for failover. Under status, you got overview, which we're on, firewall, routes, system log. This is real good if you're on the Modems and Min Whirlpool forum and you need some type of specific help for your router or slash modem configuration. Also, you can see right here in the syslog the current modem that I have attached to this router via USB enclosure. Kernel log, real-time graphs, firmware update and check, um, any load balancing that you may have, and those details. We'll go ahead and go to System. So under System and the System tab, Good idea to go ahead and set your clock. So we'll go ahead and set ours to Juneau, Alaska. I passed it because that's where I'm located. And save and apply. And you can see it apply that configuration, and then I'm going to sync it with the browser. Language and style. This is where you can go to change basically the theme of your web interface. The material is how it'll come. Rosy is a pretty nice looking interface, so if that's what you prefer, you can go ahead and change to that. And then the Bootstrap is kind of the old school default uh, OpenWRT interface. And I'll go ahead and show you the Rosy real quick since it's recording. And it'll apply that configuration. When as it's applying that configuration, it's going to go ahead and make the change if I'm not mistaken, as you can see. And this is what the Rosy looks like. Um, Here's Bootstrap. I'll go ahead and do that too for you. Now there are other themes that you can go in and download for Router. And this is the Bootstrap. As you can see, kind of the basic OpenWRT theme. I'm going to go back to the material, save and apply, and then continue to go through it. All right, administration, this is where you'd go and change your password. So for me right now, just to get rid of the banner, I'm going to change it to admin. I also like to change the SSH access to LAN. Save and apply. That's just my preference. So software, this is where you would update the list of packages if you had internet applied or connected. This is where you'd be able to do it. Startup, scheduled mounts, points, LED configuration, buttons, backup, and flash firmware. So if they publish an updated version of the firmware, this is where you could go in and update Router if you wanted to. So check their website fairly regularly, or I wouldn't say regularly, maybe once a quarter. And then you'd be able to go in and update this. They also leave you the option to be able to download the source information and compile this yourself, but then you need a Linux box in order to do that. Uh, which you could do run it all on a virtual machine. I know that's kind of a little bit more advanced than what I'm trying to get at here. Reboot. I don't prefer to do a reboot using this button. I'll just do a hard reboot. Unplugging the power and plug it back in. Um, but you know, if your system's up and running, as long as you're not having issues, you shouldn't be having to do that regularly. All right, modem, second tab over here on the left-hand side menu. This is where you go. Modem and connection profile is where you go to set your APN. So we'll go ahead and do broadband, save and apply. After you do that, connection status, that's where you would see, uh, you know, whether or not the modem connected. Well, since it's been a while since I've been connected, it's not going to connect right now. I'll do a reset here in a little bit and reset the modem. Your modem IMEI number is a good place to check in the event that you need to do some magic, and to make sure that it took. And also your LTE and signal information, right? SMS, kind of self-explanatory. Your messages, miscellaneous. This is where you go to send those AT commands. So we'll go ahead and send a reset to the modem. And it's a Sierra modem, so this is the reset command. So send it. Should get an OK response. There we go. It'll reset that modem. And then what'll happen is Under network status and general information, the modem will drop off because it's being reset. There it goes, no modem present. Now it's going back through its connection process. And we can see all that under the debugging information tab. See AT command execution, and it's kind of scrolls through the AT commands as you know the modem's going through its connection process. Device information down here kind of shows where the modem is connected and what USB, I want to say speed and uh, it's connected to. So if it's USB 3.0 like this one, or USB 2.0 like this one up here. All right, at least for Sierra modems, you'll get a G status once the modem is actually connected, and it will reflect that right here under your network status. This is one of the reasons why I've kind of switched from router to just vanilla OpenWRT because it takes a while for it to connect. I think it's because it has to run through all the scripting and the AT commands to get it connected. But that's just my, wild guess. As you can see, we're online and we're connected now. I'm pulling in band 2 uh, with, I guess, an inactive band 12. So connection port is our connection log is a good place to go and see uh, how many times your modem has like dropped off and tried to reconnect. I usually clear it after once I've set up the router just to kind of start fresh. And going back to network status, you can see that we are connected. The protocol is QMI, and we're on COM port TTY USB 2. All right, and I'm connected to AT&T. I'm gonna black all that stuff out more than likely. Uh, and that's pretty much it with getting it set up for the internet, you know. Yeah, not too bad. Probably be able to watch 2 TVs, being able to stream something at the same time. Yeah, on Netflix at best. Uploads are horrible, but hey, it is what it is. You got what you got, right? All right, so after this, if you have a provider that needs the time to live uh, adjusted, your TTL, there's some other services on here. Another NetPerf speed test, network share if you want to connect a hard drive, if you have that option to your router. OpenVPN if you need to set up a VPN on the router for whatever reason. Maybe uh, you have NAT issues, uh, and you need to have a VPN for whatever reason. Network interface. This is where you'll see your interfaces for your different network connection. Uh, Here's the LAN bridge, WAN, and this is your LTE connection right here. Wireless radios. This is where you would go and edit your SSIDs and security and password. And then down here to firewall, right? So firewall is where you would go for your custom TTL settings. Click enable, and then you can change the value. Uh, or you can also, there's some firewall rules that you can just copy and paste under here for custom rules, especially if you need IPv6 TTL adjustment. And then you would just do restart firewall for whatever reason. Um, Another service to make your life easier. Now, there's some security risk with it, but is universal plug and play. You can download that now that we got internet. I could show you under systems software update list. And it takes a second or two to get this. And what it does, it pulls all that packet information, and now you can see everything. There's ad blockers, as you can see here. Uh, what else? Aircrack NG for those of you that are gonna be cool kids. And then we can filter it, right? Filter these packets, and like I said, and this is what I would install as the Lucy app, UPnP, and then it'll install everything else that you need. So we'll go ahead and click OK on that. And it should give me a box status update that says, hey, this thing has been installed. See, there you go. Or not a box, right up here. And I should be able to go to services. Let's go, let's pick something else. Let's get out of software. Services, and now we have UPnP. And all I would need to do is click this and hit save and apply. And if you have something that for whatever reason needs that plug and play because you're not comfortable creating your own firewall rules, that'd be the way to do it. As long as you're not overly concerned about the security of things. All right, so that's basically a short overview of Router and being able to configure it and get it up and running. Uh, after you flash your router. If you guys got any questions about anything, um, you know, just shoot me a question in the comments. Um, I will have some affiliate links for the router that I'm using. That B1300 is a pretty decent little router that you can get off of Amazon for I think like $89, and sometimes they come down a little bit on top of that. You will need an enclosure and a modem, obviously, to get that working. Flashing it isn't that hard. Um, I'm going to make a video on how to flash that router. Yeah, like I said, if you guys have anything that's specific that you would like to see a video on, or you wish somebody had made a video on that subject area when you first started to get into this, just let me know. I'll be glad to go ahead and try and put something together. It's not going to be movie maker quality or anything crazy like that, and hopefully it gets right to the point. But like I said, if you got any questions, please let me know. Go ahead and post your questions down in the comment section. Y'all have a good one now.